Hey, everybody. It's me, Draw. We got a special guest today, Brad from Final Boss Entertainment, the developer behind the indie game Wrack Early Access. We're going to be playing that today. We're going to be asking him some questions. Brad, say hi.
Hello, what's going on, guys?
And then we have Abyssal with us, who will be monitoring chat. Abyssal?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Okay, so I've played the game a little bit, and I got to say that the game is actually very impressive for a early access game, and I've played pretty much every one of them on Steam. That's not just trying to suck up. I really mean it. Like the game is very good for an early access game.
Thank you, thank you. I,
Uh,
I, I mean, we've really been working just for years on this. I mean, this has been in development for like a good 5 years or so. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much all the content we've got there is pretty much what you can expect in terms of the final product. Once it's all done, we expect there, to be a little more polished, and then finish up the additional missing levels and artwork and whatnot. So.
it's the one thing that the first thing every time I play a game, the first thing I have to ask is why no co-op? Like every game I play, I'm under the opinion that co-op makes everything better.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I mean, I completely agree with you. It's not that we don't want to do it, or it's like we. I mean, when this game was first envisioned, like, I mean, the idea I had for it was like multiplayer only, and I mean, kind of like Quake 3 is like only deathmatch and like just kind of multiplayer. I mean, I kind of wanted this to be kind of like that, but like in terms of like like co-op, it's a deathmatch. But I mean, there's all sorts of limitations, to our ability to really pull that off and actually execute it well. I mean, to do good multiplayer, I mean, number one, like you need like the infrastructure around it. It's like you need ways for people to find other people to play with. You need like buddy lists and ways to set up games and everything. And until we launched on Steam, like we didn't really have that kind of infrastructure to kind of make that all work. And then you also need like a big player base. It's like you need like if you don't have other people to play the game with, like multiplayer just doesn't work. I mean, people log on, they see there's like no one to play with, and then they log off. So then those people aren't in the pool of people to play. And it's the whole thing just kind of crumbles, and I mean that's not really something like we're a new game, we're a new IP, so like we just don't have the installed player base to make that work. And then finally, if we were gonna do that and single player, like we just don't have the staff to pull it all off. I mean, we'd just be stretching ourselves too thin. We've been working on this for like a good 5 years or so, and like we only have like 6 levels done, of like one episode of the game. So like if we were trying to do that and then like co-op on top of it, I mean like we just don't have the staff to
Right.
pull it off. I mean, we would just be we'd be trying to do way too much. And instead of like having like a really good single player or like really good multiplayer, like we just have like mediocre single player and mediocre multiplayer, and like that's just horrible for everyone. And like we don't want to give people like that crappy experience. So like kind of what the idea is right now is if we can do rack one, and make it really successful. And,
Okay.
I mean, make a lot of people get into it. We gotta do like what Torchlight did, where it's like Torchlight one was single player, and then it was successful enough that they did a Torchlight 2, and then that had multiplayer as well. So I mean that's kind of the plan right now.
Sounds pretty good. I know that I've played the game maybe like 2 hours now, and I die a lot. I rage so bad. I'm pretty bad at shooters, but
But it's okay because I mean there's lives, so the penalty for death isn't all that harsh.
and leads me to my next question actually. See, so there's lives, and then there's
Yeah.
quick saving, but when you die, everything on the level restarts.
If you haven't gotten to a checkpoint, yeah.
Okay. So
I think I kind of see where you're going with it. Okay, so you're saying that the system of quick saves and the whole lives checkpoint system is it really compatible?
It just seems like one contradicts the other.
Yeah, and by the way, I completely agree with you. Yeah, if it was completely up to me, if this was like just a game for me and didn't have other people to worry about, yeah, I mean, it would just be like there wouldn't be a quick save system because I do kind of think it does kind of contradict, the whole lives and checkpoint system we have set up. But there are a lot of people who don't want to play the game that way necessarily. So yeah, we've kind of put the option in for if you want a quick save, you can. I mean, you can load those back, like whenever you get to a difficult point or whatever. The game doesn't flow as well because I mean, you're just gonna restart in the middle of just basically wherever point you just saved at. So I mean, I don't think it works well from that standpoint. But there's a lot of people who do. They're used to quick saves. They want quick saves. That's how they want to play the game. And if you want to play the game that way, I mean that's your right to. And it also works like if you're in the middle of a level and like you've got to leave or something, you actually have a way to save your game. And then, you can come back to it later. So.
Kind of works like an honor code, where some people might exploit it, but they're only ruining the game for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that the first time I played, I didn't know that the game even had saves at first. So like I just exited out of the game and then went back into load because it never actually, like, at least from what I saw, it never actually says like quick save. But then I guess most people who play these kind of games know you just hit F5.
Yeah, well, there should be a little message that comes down, like at the top of the screen saying game saved. But I mean, we could probably make that a little more visible. And I mean, also, like, whenever you beat a level and go on to the next one, it automatically saves the game at the beginning of the level. And there's no real indication of that right now. So I don't know. I mean, there's little things we can do to tweak things.
Okay.
It's an early access game after all, so that's one of the good things about being in early access. You got time to listen to feedback and tweak things.
Okay, Abyssal, pick a couple questions out of chat and read them back.
Pixelbox asks, what engine did you guys use to make the game?
None. It's a new engine done from scratch. So
That's even more impressive.
well, yeah,
Very
it's
well done.
it's I mean it's part of the reason it's taken so long to make this game. I mean just kind of getting the engine off the ground and everything. I mean it took a good year or two of a lot of work. Because we had to make the editor, we had to make everything else that works in the game. Kind of all the. I mean it was the engine and then all the tools around it, which is no simple task. But yeah, it's nice not having to pay the UDK developers 25% or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean that's money we can put towards more artists and other stuff to make the game better. So.
Okay. One second. Before we get into another question, I want to ask one thing real quick. Because I don't know a lot about Final Boss. So tell us a little bit about your company and your team.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's not too much to it right now. It's I mean, it's just kind of I guess technically I'm like the only employee, but we've I mean I'm hoping like once this game does well enough, we can actually launch like an actual like studio and have like an actual physical location and full-time employees and all that fun stuff. But I mean right now it's kind of just me and then a bunch of kind of people kind of working as contractors on the game. And we're spread out like all over the planet basically. I mean I'm here in Houston, Texas. We got another guy who's up in Dallas, and then we got another guy who lives in the Netherlands. He's the guy who does the texture art and everything. So I mean, we're not even all on the same continent. So yeah, I mean, none of us are really all that close to each other.
And to me, that just makes it even more impressive.
Yeah.
It's spread out everywhere and just working on it.
Yeah,
It's
making
pretty great.
it work somehow.
Okay. Pixelbox, are you going to add a level creator in the game? I'm pretty sure there's already a level editor in the game.
Yeah. I mean, Wrack comes with what's called Wrack Ed, and that's it's the level editor and everything. And that's so. I mean, that's not only what you use to make levels and everything, but it's also what you use to submit your levels to a Steam Workshop, which is just something we implemented in the past week and a half or so. I mean, that came out in the last update. But yeah, I mean, so you can make levels. You can submit them to Steam Workshop, which we just got a beta of up and running. And yeah, so it's a pretty nice little program. I think I think it's fairly intuitive to use. I think if people are willing to give it the time and sit down with it and actually try and learn it and everything, I think they'll have a really good time with it.
I love games with level editors. I just making stuff on Workshop
Yeah.
too. So
Oh yeah, I mean my previous project before this, it was a Doom source port called Skull Tag, and like a big reason like Doom is still like popular to this day, even though it's over 20 years old, is the modding. Just all the levels people have made, all the mods people have made. So it's something I'd really like to see Wrack have going for it in the future. I hope people are still making stuff for this game. For years to come. It's very moddable, and now with Steam Workshop, it's very easy to, submit your works and to browse through them and find stuff to play. So, yeah, I mean everything's all there. It's just kind of waiting for people to take advantage of it.
okay, we have another question from Lady Gal. You want to ask? Read that back to us, Abyssal.
Sure. Lady
I'm
Gal
lost.
asks, alright, so as a hardcore Doom player, I miss the difficult days of difficult shooters. And I can't use draw for reference.
Hey, hey,
How,
hey.
so how is the difficulty ramp in this game?
Okay. First of all, this game works a little bit differently than kind of most games. It's despite the difficulties you've had playing it, it's not, and I still do need to make like a lot of adjustments because I've noticed a lot of people having more trouble with it than I'd like. But it's supposed to be fairly like not too hard to like if you really put your mind to it, like you should be able to beat the game without much trouble. Like as long as you're like at least somewhat persistent, like you should be good in that regard. There's a wide variety of skills. Like the first skill, it's called Cakewalk. Basically, you start the game like invincible. All your shots kill everything. There's a cheats menu, so like if you want to like fly through the walls and all that fun stuff. Like you can. It's basically like just for sightseeing. If you're like a member of the press or something, or I don't know, doing a stream and don't want to die on it. I mean, you can just play on that mode and like you're golden. And then, there's 5 skills, and then there's the last one is called bullshit. And
Yeah, I saw that. I laughed.
Yeah. It's truth in advertising. I mean, it's what it says it is. It's quite difficult. I would expect 99.9% people to get their ass kicked on it. And then then there's everything in between. There's medium and casual and hardcore, which assuming I did a good job, it represent a good anywhere you are on the spectrum of players. Like you should be able to find something that suits you nicely there. But then on top of that, the real challenge and difficulty in this game doesn't come from like just beating it. It comes from the medal system. So basically, like when you beat a level, it gives you a medal like based on like your performance on the level. So like if you killed all the monsters and found all the secrets and found all the treasure, like you get a gold medal. If you do all that, like you beat the par time, you get a platinum medal. If you do all that and you beat the par score, which is not an easy thing to do, you get a Tidarium medal, which is like the hardest one. And so like by unlocking those medals, like you also end up unlocking artwork in the gallery. So I mean that's there's little like perks and bonuses to actually doing that. And then of course you get achievements and all that fun stuff. So I mean, there's a pretty interesting video that Jim Sterling did a while back, but he was talking about how this game, Kirby's Epic Yarn, like the way it's set up, like it actually makes the game harder than like an incredibly difficult game, like Mega Man 9 or something. Because it's the difficulty isn't in beating the game, like the difficulty is in like beating the shit out of the game.
Right.
Because like. You gotta do all this stuff like without getting hit, basically, and it's not an easy thing to do. It's actually incredibly challenging.
That is something I will never do.
What's that?
So that is something I can never do in a game. I am so bad at most games.
Yeah. Well, I think most people are that way. No, yeah, I mean, like looking at the achievements for Wrack and like how many people have gotten all of them, I'm like so disappointed. It's like, oh come on, it's like there's such like a drop off from like one skill to the next. It's like, oh come on, people. But yeah, I mean that's just how it is. I mean that's just reality. Yeah, I mean you look at something like Super Meat Boy, and it's like 3% of people have actually like beat it.
Shit.
Yeah, it's something like, I don't know if it's 3, it's probably a little higher, but it's it's something incredibly low. I know like when you look at the the amount of people who've gotten like some of the like really hard achievements to get, it's like 0.1%, 0.01%. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I keep getting lost.
and that includes all the people who unlock stuff with like
achievement unlocker. Yeah.
Cheaters.
I know there's a whole community that on Steam, and all they do is make they complete games, and then they make a cloud, and people can just go and download the files and load them into their computer, and it gives them all of the unlocks and achievements.
Oh, how sad. Yeah. And I know people have done that kind of thing with Wrack too. I mean, there are some achievements. It's in an early access game, and like there's, I mean, there's achievements that like you can't unlock yet. Like even the engine like cannot unlock those achievements. Like no matter what you do, like the engine won't unlock them, and people have them. So there's some cheaters out there.
So we've got a couple more questions. You want another one, Draw?
Go for it.
Pixelbox asks, so what made you guys decide to go with cartoony / cell shading for like the graphics?
First of all, this Pixelbox person had a lot of questions from that one person. I think all of them are for him so far. Yeah, so about that, it's kind of my personal philosophy that like reality in games, like it just doesn't work well. Like, if you're trying to make like a realistic looking game, like I don't think that works all that well. And the reason for that is that you're so used to looking at reality, like basically every other second of the day that you're not playing that game. So you have a very, very good idea of what reality looks like. And if you're trying to simulate that, you're gonna be able to tell like where it's not working. You're gonna be able to tell like, oh, well, this is off, blah blah blah, and you kind of get into like this kind of uncanny valley territory. So I mean, kind of what I want to do is just I don't want to fight that losing battle. I don't want to fight that uphill battle. It's like I really try and do something that isn't trying to look real, so that you don't have that kind of clash while you're looking at it. So I mean that's a big reason. I mean we wanted to do something more visually interesting. I mean, self-shading. I mean, I think it's a great way to.
I am completely and utterly lost. I did not pay attention to where that door opened.
I'll try and pay attention.
I went through a teleporter and it said stage 1 of 2.
You want to go go back through that teleporter and then go the left way. Like, if you go through the teleport and then go back to the right, like, then you're just back to where you were.
Okay. Adalar Wiki asks...
I think I'm on a 45-second delay, but...
Oh, right, I can do something. I meant to do that earlier.
Adalar Wiki asks, will there be customization for your character in this game? Like custom weapon skins or anything like that?
You can mod it. Yeah, but I mean, we don't really have anything. Yeah, I think that kind of thing. You know, if we're lucky enough to get to like a Wrack 2, you know, which would be like a multiplayer thing, then I think we'll look at doing all sorts of ways to customize your appearance and everything. Because I mean, you gotta bling yourself up so you stand out from the crowd while you're playing. You gotta differentiate
the masses.
Huh?
While you're mowing down the masses.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, for now, I mean, you can do it with mods, but we don't have anything. We don't have any hat DLC on the way yet or anything.
Right, this is where I died the first time walking into these pits. Grr. This is moving so fast, and I kept falling into them.
Those
Lady-
damn hits.
We have another question from Lady Gal. She says that after watching the trailer, she sees that rocket jumping is possible. Thank you, basic god. But it seems that the levels are somewhat linear. And are there any plans for like alternate routes?
Yeah, I mean, there's alternate routes now. I mean, it's linear-ish. It's non-linear-ish. Yeah. I mean, look how lost he's getting right now. I mean, if the levels were that linear, I mean that wouldn't be happening. Which, by the way, is a big reason. Like, I kind of shy. I kind of think non-linearity is a bit overrated. I mean, especially in a game like this, where like it's all about action and running from one horde of monsters to the next. I mean, this game isn't as much about exploration, as I don't know. I mean, maybe
Shooting
some other
people in
games
the face.
genre. Yeah, I mean, this is more about blasting people in the face and getting long combos. All that stuff. But,
Something.
I mean, there is definitely some non-linearity to it. I mean, don't get me wrong. And it also depends on it's up to the mapper. I mean, kind of what style of map he or she wants to make. So I mean, if people start making some stuff with the editor and putting them up on a Steam Workshop, then I mean, I'm sure people will do all sorts of crazy stuff and all sorts of different styles. So.
Another question is, where did you come up with the name Wrack?
That's a good question. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It just kind of came to me, and like it sounded cool at the time. I think probably a lot of it was just kind of the sources and kind of looking up all sorts of I don't know different things for synonyms for other cool sounding words.
It was
destruction,
racking his brain trying to come up with the name. It's like, oh, there it is.
But yeah, it's. I mean, we kind of wanted to do like a cool one word name, like Doom, Quake, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it fits.
Something short and to the point. And plus, it also wasn't a trademark.
That helps.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it was like you come up with like so much other stuff. Like even like where I just kind of brainstorming. It's like, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Even though it'd be really cool.
So I got one for you.
Sure.
Where did you get the character of Fabian?
He's fabulous.
I mean, it kind of seemed like there needed to be like some kind of like flamboyant sidekick. 'Cause I mean, it's I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, that it just kind of seemed like that was one of the things that kind of needed to happen. And I mean, you see that so much in I mean in other movies and games and everything. Like, it just kind of seemed like it was one of those things that had to be. But I mean, it kind of seemed like he needed to have long hair and I don't know. It's kind of funny. I mean, one of the when I was gathering up kind of images for like kind of how I thought he should look to submit to the artist who actually designed him and everything. One of the images was of John Romero, so yeah, the long, silky, flowing hair. So
He's very proud of his hair.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I'll probably be taking some of the script. I want to take it to like a writer's workshop on Monday, just so some professional writers can take a look at it and see if there's actually problems with it or if people are just whiny or I don't know.
I loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
I mean,
I love the jokes in it.
he loves my voiceovers for female characters.
Oh,
You have
God.
no idea. I can't wait till the next one happens because it's gonna happen. It is going to
Yeah,
happen.
and I mean I like it too. I think most people do, but
In most games, I'm a stickler. I love voiceovers. Like I hate reading.
I'd love to do that in this too.
So like I got to the point now where if I'm playing a game, I'm streaming, I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna do voices. Though every other character sounds the same, but hey, it's part of the fun.
Yeah, Jim Sterling had a playthrough of this, and his voiceovers were pretty hilarious.
Now, imagine just
Like
hide-
I think just about everyone sounded like old British women, like oh hello.
Nice.
It was very silly. Yeah, but yeah, I mean we I'd love to have professional voice acting in this. It's just a matter of kind of making enough money to make that happen. So.
Okay,
It
so
sucks being an indie and not having much of a budget. So.
I have a kind of a design question. I went to Full Sail for a while, and I went to IADT because I wanted to be a game designer. No luck, unfortunately.
It's hard.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's not a lot of opportunities, all that stuff, which I'm sure
first off, like, did you go to school for it, or you're just like one day, hey, I'm gonna make a game, and you get the people for it, what?
No, it's I mean, this has been something I've wanted to do since like 2 years old, basically. It's I mean, for the longest time, this has been what I've wanted to do, and and I've been at this so long, and it still hasn't quite taken off yet. So it's so rough. But yeah, it's I mean, just from a young age, I've loved games and love tinkering with them and kind of having my own design ideas and everything. I mean, this is way back in the day, but like back in like the late '80s, it was like there were these things called like BBSs, which were like it was basically like like little mini internets that you had to call up
Little mini
on your
internets.
modem. Yeah, it was like the most ghetto thing ever. But yeah, and there were like these little like text games you could play on them. And there were a couple that I really liked a lot, and I ended up like, and it was the kind of thing. It was like a kind of like Doom. It was like there was like a shareware version of the game, and then you could like register it. So you had to actually like send them like a check in the mail, and it's like they'd send you back a floppy that had like it was really we have it much better today. Yeah, like I remember like being a little kid, like some of those games. It's like I'd write like 2 pages like of like design notes and like all my ideas and everything. Oh, hey, you could do this with the game, and it'd be really cool if you did this. And I'm sure the developers opened that up and were like, oh, that's cute, kid. And then,
That's cute, kid.
But yeah, so I mean, just for a long time, I've just kind of
Yeah, I'm literally
been
running
what
in
I've
circles.
wanted to do. And then like when Doom came out, like '93 or whenever I got my hands on it, which was like '94, '95. I mean, just the fact that you can make your own levels for that, and it's just kind of doing your own like little mods and things. That's just kind of when things kind of exploded for me. But hell, I mean, now everyone's got that kind of stuff just right out of the box. I mean, Gary's mod and all that stuff.
Like, I really enjoy playing games, and one of the I complain a lot when I'm playing an early access game, but I think the biggest difference is I can separate what is early access and what is not.
I'm glad you can.
I mean, I like to. I really like to. I like to try to break games usually too. I also like to mess
So,
with.
so you're one of those guys.
I'll also take Cheat Engine to your game and see what I can mess with.
You'll take what?
Cheat Engine.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, there are some people who it's like they can't tell the difference between early access and like the full thing. Yeah, it's like I mean, some people were like, "Hey, this monster doesn't have animations. Is it broken?" It's like, no, it's early access. Come on.
Or hey, I just bought your game. It's shitty. It's laggy, and the game is short. Like, dude, it's early access. Come on,
I really haven't gotten a lot of that, so I'm actually pretty encouraged. Like, I thought I was gonna put this on Steam and everything was gonna go catastrophically wrong, and just everyone's machine was gonna break because you forgot to include the right version of DirectX, or something. And I mean, thankfully, everything seems to have held up fine. Phew.
Okay, I'm running in circles again.
Question from the viewers is there a changeable FOV?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you can do it right in the display settings menu.
Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna save because last time I did that, I had a crash.
You always could from the console.
Yeah, let's see
You
settings.
bring down with the tilde key.
Video.
Yeah, I mean now it's super easy now. So
That goes what? Max is 120.
it sounds about right.
Let's see. And yep. Oh, did I apply it? Yeah. There you go. And there's gamepad support if you wanted to play with that. Though I don't know why anyone would want to play a shooter with a controller. Just in my opinion, I don't know about you,
I play
but
arcade shooters with controllers, but I don't play other shooters like Doom and things like that. I'll certainly play this game with the
I wanted to get.
controller as well.
I don't know what is wrong with me. I keep getting lost.
Yeah, I mean the
Bad
fact
at
that this
beach
is on a
games.
delay kind of sucks. Otherwise,
I actually have it up on Skype, shared screen, so you can see as it's happening.
Okay. Okay.
So, I've when I was taking the classes, it's funny because when the teacher told me, and in one of my design classes, which later I just kind of laugh. You're going to teach me how to design a game. It seems like if you're either going to know how to do it or you're not. It's just how I feel about it now, especially after taking the class. But is don't make a game that you're going to like. Make a game that other people are going to like. And my thought process behind the whole thing was, but if you were going to like the game, aren't you going to be more passionate about it and try to make it better? Make it. So it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to straddle the line a little bit. If it's something purely for others, I mean, your soul's not gonna be in it. But at the same time, if you're just making something just for you, then I mean, other people aren't gonna be into it, and it's not gonna do well. And yeah, run through that door. Yeah. Oh, okay. So just go through there.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and then through the teleporter, and then okay, you should be good. Yeah, so it's so if you're just doing it for yourself, then you're not gonna have people behind you. I think kind of the best approach is you want to do something that appeals to you, and that also appeals at the same time to others. I think I've been very conscious of that, while trying to make this game. I've made sure that everything we're doing, actually has appeal, and that we're building it, on a solid foundation. This isn't like some experimental thing that's has a high chance of not doing well. All that stuff, and
He's shooting rockets.
And just to go back to what you were saying about your teacher before about oh, you can't, teach people to make games. I think kind of the whole school of, game design, I think it's still very early. And I think, as people kind of figure out more things about game design, and, we start to figure out, more fundamental principles and everything. And also as things become more complicated and people just plain need schooling, I think we'll probably end up seeing more game development in academia. I mean, right now with something like movies or television, like, I mean, yeah, you kind of can wing it for the most part, but I think a lot of good, talented filmmakers and everything now, it's like they go to film school and they learn a whole bunch of stuff there about cinematography and screenwriting and all that stuff. I think once we kind of figure out more of these sorts of fields of game design, I think it'll be very plausible that you'll be able to go to school and actually learn a whole bunch of stuff. Are you dying more?
I backed into the lava.
He walked off into the lava.
I walked into
That's
the.
why I laughed. I'm sorry.
Actually, we're going to be adding another person to the Skype call. He's a great supporter of mine. He's helped me a lot, and if right now he's actually learning Maya and working in UDK. He's recently joined the chat, Flintlock.
If you can animate, I'd like to talk to him.
And then we have another friend who is a really good with what is it called? ZBrush. That's it. He's pretty ridiculous with ZBrush. Like I keep telling him all the time, there is absolutely zero reason that he should not be making money for the stuff that he does. It's just that good. Really? I think your game hates me. Okay, just saying.
Hey guys,
It's I don't think it's all that
Hey there, buddy.
compatible necessarily with streaming. It's one of those things. It's like you probably have to concentrate on it to play it.
It's fun. It doesn't make me want to rage, even though I'm dying repeatedly. So I can say that. But I'm also playing on like the medium difficulty.
Yeah.
Mia would like to know: is there a mini map or plans for a mini map?
No and no.
It's
I mean, it's the game is kind of set up like even though we got lost earlier. I think for the most part, if you're not streaming it, like you're giving the game like your full attention, like you shouldn't have that much trouble as far as getting lost. It's something we've been very cognizant of. We want it to always be clear like where you're supposed to go, what to do, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty complicated. Doing a map, and it'd be very difficult to do for like mods and all that. Because like even if we like pre-made the maps and for the vanilla maps, like how are you gonna do that in like a custom map?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Considering that modded content you don't have any control of, it would be.
Exactly.
I don't know exactly how like coding for maps works, so I don't know like if they'd be able to make a map themselves for it or anything like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you're not able to generate it like automatically, I would think it would be very difficult to generate something that was simple, like a simplified version of the map, and all that stuff. You're just adding like extra work, and most people. Like 90% of people aren't gonna go do that. So I mean, it's like if you're used to relying on the map, and then you go play like some custom map and that doesn't have the map, you're gonna be screwed because you've been so dependent on maps all along. So so I mean, we've tried to do just like the next best thing, which is just to make the map, make the levels to the point where it's like you don't need a map. So because I mean, it's not supposed. It's not supposed to be like a maze, like labyrinth. It's supposed to be action. It's supposed to be you running from groups of monsters and monsters, all keeping your kill chain going.
Yep. And hopefully the modding community will make their games in a similar fashion to because there is no map.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it looks great. I'm really enjoying it. It looks amazing.
Thanks.
As soon as I saw this game, it instantly kind of pinged a nostalgia string with me, because it looks and it feels like an old classic shooter.
Right.
Like I don't like. There's a lot of games that try to say they're arcade shooters like that, but they just don't really capture the feeling.
Yeah.
And this game, like as soon as I saw the way you move around and the way the enemies act and things like that, it just felt like a classic shooter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been pretty heavily inspired by a lot of those classic shooters, a lot of those arcade style shooters, and I mean, I just kind of feel like, and that was a big, like those kind of games not really being around much these days. I mean, that was like a big reason for Wrack, coming into existence. It was kind of like those games did so much right. And it's like there's no reason for a lot of those elements to not still be around. Like being able to carry all your weapons, for instance. Like there's no good reason to like not have that be a part of a shooter now. It's just a fundamentally good thing. I mean, just being able to carry all your weapons at the same time. Like it means that you have like 8 different weapons or so. So you have like 8 different ways to like approach like any situation, and like that adds a lot of depth to the gameplay. It makes it interesting, and it gives you like a much bigger tool set to work with, and like that's just fundamentally like a great thing. And it's like there's no reason like that shouldn't be around. I mean, like those kinds of games, like they didn't go away because like they're bad games or anything like that. It was just like the Halo style, Half-Life style of shooter came around, and like that made more money, and then like id stopped making shooters, and kind of 3D realms kind of they had their whole Duke 4 fiasco. So I mean those developers kind of dropped the ball, and between that and like this other style of shooter rising in popularity, like the arcade style shooter just kind of it kind of just went, it just faded away from mainstream popularity, and it just seems wrong to me. Like they're not bad games.
I think it just kind of came to the point where that new technologies came out. Like a lot of the big thing with the old shooters were you couldn't really look up and down, or if you did, it was kind of clunky. And then there was the Half-Life that came out where it was very easy to do it. Everybody, new technology, and they just kind of jumped on the bandwagon with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what caused it to die out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, there's just the big thing with me is like it's just like a very fundamentally sound genre, and it deserves to still be around.
Jump in the lava again.
Yeah, I was at like 15 health. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm starting over.
It just brings back so many memories of like Wolfenstein that like I have to buy this game now.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, I definitely have to pick it up now.
It's brilliant.
Okay, so is it a cyberpunk game or is it a sci-fi game? Like, what would you call it?
I think it's more sci-fi. It's set in the future. It's not really like. I was thinking of steampunk when you said cyberpunk. But yeah, I would still describe it as like sci-fi. It's set in the future. Like 2050 is the exact year. And I mean, really, if you get down to it, like the whole kind of central story and everything kind of deals with the possible dangers of technology. So I mean, humanity kind of invents this device which just kind of generate anything you need basically. So everyone.
It's the replicator from Star Trek.
Basically, yeah. Which the only Star Treks I've seen are the 2 recent movies that came out, and that's not mentioned in there. So didn't mean to plagiarize. Sorry.
Well, no. The thing is, Star Trek is, as far as I know, all it did was like make food and drinks. It's usually sitting in their bar and their thing, but that's the first thing that came to mind when I was reading about it.
Yeah. But I mean, so they create this device which like do all these things, and what does it lead to? It leads to interstellar war and lazy people, and all sorts of other problems which will come up later. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what the franchise is about.
Is there any plans to give someone like a weaponized version of that machine where it just creates some kind of weapon or a turret?
Spoilers! Spoilers! No, don't tell me.
No, I mean I've kind of been toying with that idea myself, but I mean any time any place that would pop up, it'd be like later games, not anything right away. So.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of turrets, so anything.
Oh, well, you'd be happy to know we just entirely got rid of them. So.
So I was really.
They didn't turn out right in this game, so they've kind of been dazed out because we don't have enough help to animate them properly, do all the stuff that needs to be done to make them good and not annoying as all hell. So because indie development is fun.
I don't know if you ever played Perfect Dark for the 64, but they had a gun that was literally a machine gun
beat this thing.
that you could turn into a turret. It was called a laptop gun. And you just like threw it and it stuck to walls. And it was amazing.
It kind of sounds like the Duke laser. You could like put on the walls and then create a laser from that point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
How many different weapons are available in the game?
Right now it's 5. And if we're fortunate enough to do 2 more episodes of it, it should get to 8.
Nice.
Nice.
And then how many levels are available currently in the current build of the game?
Right now it's 6, and then once we finish up and get out of the early access state, it'll be up to 9. And as more get finished, they'll be included. As we keep going with it. I hope in about a month there will be another level. So, and it's what takes so long isn't the levels themselves, but it's all the new content and it's doing the bosses, new items that appear in the levels, and all that stuff.
I keep thinking like these rockets are gonna hit the wall in front of me, but they come through the wall and hit me. No, yeah.
In the face.
Okay, I just got hit in the face with a rocket.
Dead.
Well, that'll teach you to block rockets with your face.
I have the power to stop a speeding bullet.
Rocket Man. Yeah. So, what about consoles? Do you have any plan to release it on any of the consoles?
I'd like to. That's a big reason there is controller support right now. We wanted to get all that squared away and make sure the game worked on basically a console before actually doing all the work to port it over and everything. But yeah, it has been made with that slightly in mind. Yeah, it's still pretty much a PC exclusive game right now. It's designed that way, but at the same time, it still works on a console, and I definitely like to bring it to some. I just don't know if we're gonna wait till we end up doing 2 more episodes and then port it, or if it's gonna be like we finish this first episode then port it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I definitely think it could do well on consoles too, because it definitely lends itself well to using a controller to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think it would do quite well, especially because console players eat up this kind of game. They absolutely love it, especially like in arcades. Like I don't know if they would necessarily buy like a disc game of this kind, because that's not what they tend to go for.
Right.
But when it comes to like arcades and stuff like that, they would absolutely eat this up.
Yeah, I'm paying a lot of attention to kind of what's going on with Xbox One. In terms of because with like the 360, it's like they had an indie game section, an Xbox Live Arcade, where you can put a nice $15 game in there and it'd do quite well. But yeah, it's there's a lot of reasons I think this could do well on console. First of all, there's like an aim lock button, when you play the game on a controller. So like you just hold that down, like you turn into like an aimbot basically. So it means like accuracy with like the sentries, the little flying orbs. Like that's not really a problem. And,
I did it!
I'm
I
fine with
did
it.
it!
It's such a fast-paced game that like precision isn't as important. What's up?
I finally did it! Yay!
Oh, nice.
All right, you got to get ready for the voiceovers. All right, professional voiceover work. Here we come. All right.
But so there's that aim lock button. So yeah, I mean basically like playing the game with a controller like shouldn't be a problem at all. Also like I kind of feel like PC gamers like I think a lot of them kind of look at this game and then they kind of like pigeonhole it as like, oh, it's it's an old school retro and it's like they just kind of view it like through that prism of like, oh, it's a Doom like and like then they kind of like ignore like all the other stuff like this game is trying to bring to the table. And like I have a feeling that won't be as much of a problem on consoles. Because like I don't know if console gamers have played like Doom and Quake as much as like PC gamers have. So I kind of feel like they can look at this game with like a fresher set of eyes. So I mean maybe I don't know. It's interesting. I'm kind of curious how that'll all shake out.
I think I did well on the time there. 36 minutes out of possible 12. Yep.
You're so good at this game, Joel.
God, I'm so good at this game. All right, XO.
Hey, you only cut that down by 2/3.
Here we go. Well, so far so good, Gibbet. Soon both Nocturnes and what is that word? Slidarians? Slidarians? Will be out of the picture, and we'll have all the precious titanium we could ever need. Although this Hyperion generator intrigues me, if the device truly can generate any material, we could simply use it to generate artificial titanium. It would save us the trouble of mining it from Turon's core, and the less time I have to spend on the charred rock of a planet, the better. Bleep boop. Titanium. Oh, how many times I must tell you, I really haven't perfected your memory function, have I? Anyway, it's virtually indestructible metal, and just so happens that the Arcturan home planet of Turon has a core made of stuff. Those fools are sitting on a gold mine and don't even realize it. At first I was upset, and the only way to obtain it was going to be eradicate them. But to use my wits to wipe out 2 alien races with 1 stone is just so much more satisfying. Beep boop. I'm not mad. You're mad. Besides, it's not like they're going to just hand it over. They may be stupid, but they're not that stupid. Oh, but just think of it, Gibbet. Once I have enough titanium, I'll create any army of indestructible robots, and sweet revenge shall be ours. How invigorating. Perhaps I can use some of that titanium to engineer a decent companion, too. Beep boop. How dare you speak to me that way? I gave you life. Well, not life, but you know what I mean. Oh, Gibbet, I really did a marvelous job creating you, didn't I? A small flaw here and there, but you're still vastly superior to any of those drooling flesh sacks. Beep boop. Don't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me. But yes, we really must be going. I really hope.
Hey, female line.
Hey, you just wait. There might be. Pro tip, you can crouch under most of the Arcturan's projectile attacks. I did not know that.
That's why those are there.
Alright, here we go. More. Well,
Yay, more.
that wasn't so bad. I made it to the recycling center in one piece. If they want to stop me, they're gonna have to step
Like
it
a
up.
Southerner.
Alright. Don't tempt fate like that, kid! Yeah, that's my job. Besides, this place is way more dangerous. Conveyor belts, smashing walls, who knows what else. In other words, it sucks to be you right now. On the other hand, I'll be here fixing myself a drink.
He is so useful to the team.
Also, Kane doesn't know what voice he has, because clearly in my mind he has like this disorder where every time he speaks his voice is different. Okay. You and I. Go ahead.
I think that's a real psychological disorder that like multiple voice disorder.
So just so you know, Droll is definitely available for being hired to do voice acting.
Especially female voices. I'm great at it.
That's his specialty.
I think between you and Jim Sterling, we should be covered.
You and I are going to have a little talk then when I get back. Oh, damn. I was hoping to have more female voices.
And every once in a while he'll have a southern accent. We don't know where that comes from.
So, note to self, hire professional voice actors.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun, actually.
You see what people do when you don't have voice actors.
I know,
In order to
Hey.
not let this happen.
Yeah,
What?
I mean,
What?
voice actors for no
Hey.
other reason, like, other than just shut the Let's Players up. Just so, like, it's not like 8-year-olds.
Hey!
Yeah.
My other option I was gonna do was gonna get the Ventrilo or whatever voice, the Microsoft female's voice, and just type the text in and let it do the voice.
Don't tempt fate like that, Kenny.
I gotta say the very first time Fabian talks, I was like, yep, I love that guy.
Bad lads.
He's like, and he said, as he said, that's what she said. I literally said that, and it was the next line that popped up. So, yep. Oh, traps! Really? Is that necessary?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, all the main characters. They are supposed to. It is supposed to be like that. Each person kind of identifies with one of them. It's kind of it's. I don't know. It's. I don't know how to explain it, but like there's a whole like yeah, it's like each character is like an archetype basically.
You are just correct, bro.
Aside from the few missing assets here and there during like the cutscenes, I haven't really experienced a lot of bugs in the game, which I don't know if I'm lucky or if you guys are just doing that good of a job. But like I said, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
It's not a buggy game, but I mean there are bugs, but they're pretty few and far between. I mean generally when something crops up, I do my best to fix it immediately. So.
Are there any notorious ones right now that are kind of funny?
I think you can still fall out of the level at times. So
Nice.
yeah. But I don't think it's I don't think it happens often.
I love early access games mostly because I just like seeing games grow.
Also the shotgun turns pink now. Yeah. Well, if you're into kind of watching a game in development,
should add a lot
and
of
watching
code
it grow
somewhere.
and blossom. I mean, this should be. I mean, that's this should be right up your alley. I mean, every 2 weeks we're doing updates, which add new content, fixes, and everything, and we're doing like update trailers and everything for all of those. We're supposed to have one out yesterday, but I mean, there's still stuff missing that I'm kind of waiting on to be done because indie development is so amazing. But yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be out every Thursday, but hopefully, maybe later tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, so we're getting close to the end. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have 5 more questions. So if you guys have any questions about the game, or about Brad, or about anything, the game, the company, anything in general, feel free to ask that. We'll pick the first 5 questions that come up, and then super surprise for you guys. Well, it's not really a surprise because I've been saying it for a week, but yes. All right, so questions. Let's do it.
Hooray! 45-second delay.
Hooray!
Yay!
So I was gonna say you should add a line of code somewhere that randomly loads the shotgun pink every once in a while. Or
If
weapons in
random
odd
number
colors.
equals 7.
There you go.
Well, one of the like Star Wars Galaxies was one of my favorite games, and that game was definitely not flawless in any means. But even the bugs in the game is one of the things that actually really made me like the game. Is part of the memories in the game and going back and playing it, and it's the whole experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes I believe that developers put bugs into games purposely just because they're funny, but they don't
Yeah.
break the game at all, and they're
Yeah.
just funny.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, somebody's head will load upside down or something.
Yeah.
Like I've been playing Warframe lately, and there's a bug with one of the races. They have masks, and every once in a while the masks will load completely upside down. Head is just fine and everything, but the mask is completely upside down, and it's been a bug for like 6 months. They haven't fixed it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a really easy bug to fix, but they're just too busy laughing at it to fix
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I do think what you say happens a lot. It's like something will be in the game, like either it's a bug or it's something put there intentionally, and it's just like funny and harmless, and they're just kind of like, yeah, you know what, that's fine. I can stay there.
And the game has
Add some
secrets.
personality to the game.
Okay, so
What do you guys
That's
have
our
secrets?
wiki asks.
We got-
Will you be updating the game after its release, or will you just be moving development to Wrack 2?
Well, the plan is for doing a couple more episodes of it. Apparently DLC is a bad word, but I mean whatever. I mean that's what it is. Yeah, it's kind of it's a super ambitious game. It's like each level has like its own new content, new textures and boss and music, and storyboards, cutscenes, all this stuff. So it's like doing additional content, is by no means cheap. So I mean, you kind of think of it as like each episode is like kickstarting the next one, or it's like this episode is kickstarting the next two. So we want to do like those 2 extra episodes, and it's assuming. I mean, and between like those, when we finish up and do those 2 extra episodes, I mean, we'll see, about doing some more updates between that point. I'm certainly open to it. And if the game, certainly needs it, like people are yelling patch, I mean, we'll think about it.
Of course, there'll always be those glaring bugs that need to be fixed with a patch.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's just a question of like, do we have the ability to fix it? Is it worth it to fix it? All that stuff. So I mean, we'll kind of feel things out. I definitely love updating things, and making things, update it, changes and fixes and improvements and all that stuff. So if people are willing to, if people are going to embrace it, and actually check the new stuff out and everything, I'd be happy to do it. But I mean, if everything's kind of wrapped up and the game's kind of done well and everything, we'll probably start thinking about Wrack 2 if we've done well enough. So I don't know. So yeah, we'll kind of feel it out.
Okay. Well, I definitely, you guys, I've been playing this game and I'm dying a lot. And normally when I'm playing a game, I die and I get mad. I get angry. This game is, I love the art of the game. I love the game is kind of goofy, kind of quirky, and to me that just adds to the game. My favorite part of the game, which is funny, is just going around and chopping up the dead bodies on the ground.
Draw mentioned earlier that he feels like it should be, when you shoot people, it should say "pow, bang, bomb."
Ah, yeah,
Things
yeah,
like
like the comics.
And I thought, when you mentioned the cheat menu, I was like, that should be a cheat mode.
Yeah, add a cheat to the game that every time you shoot something or do damage to it, it says slash bop bang zip pop.
Yeah. I mean, we are trying to comic the game up a little bit. Because like we want to like differentiate it more from like.
I mean, with your sense of humor that's already in the game, I thought, like when he mentioned that, I was like, that fits in actually very well.
I mean, you already get the pop up like when you kill stuff and you get score, and you got the chain kills and stuff. So.
I mean, probably if 13 had done that, I mean, we would probably be, we might do that.
Yeah, it would
But,
look,
you
it
know,
would look
I mean, that just kind of seems like it's 13. Still.
Oh, right. I forgot they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, then above your gun it would say bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. But just to go back to what you were talking about earlier, Droll, about it's like you die a lot, but you don't get mad. That's been something we've been very careful about in this game. It's like we want to make it so like if you die in this game, like it feels like it's your fault. Like we're trying to make it so like the game's not like pulling any cheap shots on you. It's like everything in this game is like introduced in like kind of a sterile environment. Where it's like you can kind of see what's going on with it. You can see how things work. But before it escalates to the point where it's like in a very difficult situation with either lots of monsters or not a lot of room or whatever.
It only took me 36 tries to kill the boss, but hey, eventually I did it.
Hey, you're distracted. You're distracted.
Draw is also bad at video games.
Shut up. I am not. I am pro, okay?
Too pro. So elite.
Two esports.
2 esports.
2 MLG.
Two
Would I suggest people buy this game? Absolutely. It is one of the best early access games on Steam, and I've no lie, I've pretty much played them all at this point.
Take that, Daisy.
Oh, come on. You mean, what was it? 500,000 sales in a week?
Excuse me.
I can hear you strangling me right now. I can feel it. You're trying to use the force to strangle me.
That sound you heard was me just crying into a
'Cause-
bowl of sadness.
Eat my sad oatmeal.
I check like every couple of days. I'll check the early access list for games, and I don't know if there's a lot of people that actually do that. And I bet there's a lot of people out there, if they had actually seen this game, being on the front page, and because it wasn't, they probably would have bought it already for about 5 seconds exactly. I feel like if it had actually been on the front page, more people would see it and more people would buy it. So it's one of the reasons why I wanted to stream it.
The best day of sales we've had so far is like when we were up for a community's choice vote, like in the middle of the night.
I voted. Just saying, your game was the one I voted for during that. I even tweeted, told people they should vote for it.
Yeah, unfortunately though, it did not win because who can compete with the juggernaut that is Another World? Juggernaut.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you, kind of, looking at early access games and giving them a chance. But sadly, I think that holds a lot of people back. I think kind of that well has been poisoned by other games which have
Very bad.
abused the tag.
A game I won't say his name of.
Not naming names, but anyway.
Yeah. There's a couple that come to mind like instantly that I won't say them right now.
But I mean, I kind of feel like what we're trying to do with early access, where it's like we've got like a very polished chunk of content there, and like we're constantly updating it and trying to do exciting things with the update. I think the way we're kind of approaching it, is the right way to do early access. And,
Definitely.
if we can do something to kind of restore faith in early access, if people can point to us as a shining beacon of hope for early access,
You've definitely released it at the right stage where, like, the features are in the game and they're polished a bit, but like there may be some bugs flying around that random playtesters will find and you'll be able to fix them. Whereas some games are like we have one feature in of the 70, so it's a little bit too early to put it on the early access.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've definitely put it out at the right time.
Yeah, I thank you. And I agree. It just kind of sucks that kind of others have kind of ruined the whole early access.
Yeah.
a little bit. But yeah, I mean, what's great is that I mean, people seem to really be enjoying the game, and when Valve actually put us on the front page for a teeny tiny eensy weensy bit of promotion, I mean, we actually had like our best day of sales on the last day of the year. Just what was that, Tuesday. So I it's all very encouraging. So.
And something that I don't know. Was your game one of the games that was voted for Greenlight, or did you just get your game put on early access?
Yeah, yeah. We went through the gauntlet of Steam Greenlight, which was, I mean, we were on there for like over a year. Oh my god, that was not fun at all.
Well, I've voted on every single game that has come in. At least, I thought I did, because like there was a small time period where I didn't have access to the internet. So I mean, it's very possible that it was in there during that bit.
We went on in September of 2012. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we went on.
That was around the time I was in the hospital.
9/11 after Greenlight started up. So, I don't know.
then
I don't know if that's like the period where you didn't have internet or whatever. But,
yeah, it was.
We have
Okay.
one more
Okay.
question from the audience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is our keys customizable? Like, can you set the keys?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big thing for me.
I would hope that's a given. If there's some game where like
there's
this
a lot of games
they're,
that don't do that anymore.
They're fucking up. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are like, here, these are our keys, use them forever.
I do hate that. Like what was that? Like Anti-Chamber was like that. It's like I don't normally use WASD, so like when it forces you on that, I'm like, oh come on.
Or it'll be like, here to throw a grenade, press L. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you can change all that.
Good.
And same goes for the the controller too, or gamepad. Yeah, there's like a whole separate menu where you set up those controls.
I just can't wait till I actually get the bazookas. I'm gonna start killing myself by rocket jumping.
Yes!
Yay!
Rocket jumping is my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, I mean this kind of game kind of started off as like a first-person platformer, but it wasn't really like a platformer in the sense of like platforming as much as like platform games. Yeah, it's like Contra and Mega Man and all that stuff. Where it's like, yeah, I mean there's like some jumping, but the jumping around from platform to platform, like that's not what like defines the game. Like the games aren't like jumping puzzles. Anyway, so it kind of seemed like natural that it's like this game had to have rocket jumping, and so the way it kind of works in Wrack, it's a little different than in like like Quake 3 or something. In that it's like rocket jumping is like by default like a viable thing, whereas in Wrack, you have to actually obtain like a power up that lets you do that, called the Blast Guard. And in this, you actually get that by going to the secret level, which should be coming online here pretty soon.
Sweet.
So yeah, you go to that level, you get the blast scar, then you can just rocket jump freely wherever you wish.
Nice.
I gotta say, I just picked up the game and I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, and it is mental. I love it.
Oh, awesome.
Very cool.
Sweet.
Okay, so super special surprise time. Okay, again, not really all that surprise, but
Oh my god, I'm so surprised.
we have a copy of Wrack to give away. Now, there are a couple rules to it. One, obviously, if you've been an asshat in the channel and you've been banned from the channel, you're not going to be eligible. Sorry. Don't be an asshat.
Jason, I don't know.
And second, in order to be eligible, you have to be following, and you can't be AFK. So, we're going to get to that right now. It'll take a couple minutes. Normally, I would do a tweet and tell people, but this has been something, if they had interest, they should have been here from the beginning. Sorry. Not doing another tweet. the game is great. If you guys are interested in it, and you should go buy it, support it. It's definitely worth buying and playing all the way. While I'm doing this, I have a question I'm going to ask. What is your opinion of the like currency differences and price differences? Say like say I would go to a website and find someone from Brazil to buy the game for me. I would send them the money to PayPal, and then they would, they'd get it for significantly cheaper than what if I would buy it from the store. Like, are you, I've heard recently Steam is, allowing you to make that choice yourself, whether you region lock the games or whether you allow that kind of thing. Like, is that something that bothers you as, an indie developer, or?
Um, I, that's something I haven't really thought about too much. I know that like when I put the game up for sale on the website, I think there we just kind of specified dollars and then it automatically converted to other currencies. Like if you're trying to buy the game in like England or something. And then when we put the game up on Desura, like it's like you could put in a dollar amount, you could put in like a pounds amount, and then it would like tell you like kind of if you put in like 12.99, it'd be like, oh, this is 15.34 in U.S. dollars. So it's like, okay, well that sounds fairly reasonable. But go ahead. Oh, okay. But on Steam, like when you put in like 14.99 for the price, it automatically generates like all the other prices for you. And it seems like it's a lot higher like in other countries than it should be. So it's like if you buy the game in like England or something, it's like the price they pay is like the equivalent of like I don't know like $20 here or something. And that seems kind of weird to me. Like I don't know why that would be the case. But I don't. I mean, I assume they have their reasons and everything. But yeah, I mean, if people want to, game the system, I mean, I could see there being some risk involved. I mean, you can PayPal money to someone in Brazil and they can just run with it. So I mean, it's still a barrier for people to overcome. So I don't think everyone's gonna go do that necessarily. Yeah, it's also more hassle and all that stuff. But I kind of feel like it should be the same price everywhere, so that you don't have to do that in the first place. I don't understand Valve's reasoning for making the game
Me either.
in other countries. So I don't know. I assume they have some reason, but I don't worry too much about it. So.
Okay, so we're time to do the giveaway. Now, again, if I click the roll button and it says you are not following, I'm just going to re-roll. So if you want to have the chance to win, you need to be following. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes, and if your name pops up and you don't want to be eligible, just say something and I'll re-roll again. If you already own the game or whatever, that'd be great to give someone else a chance. But so if you don't want to be eligible for the giveaway, say so now so I can click your name off the list. Cricket. No, I realize there's a delay.
For 45 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that sucks. Thanks, Twitch.
So I know that there's and I won't lie, I've been guilty of it in the past, but I have a friend that I've gamed with, and he would buy a 4-pack of a game, and it would, for me, if I were to buy the 4-pack would cost like $40 for me, and that's with it being 50% off. But then he could get the 4-pack for $10. It is just ridiculous. They're like, there is no reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't understand why there would be that difference. That's a Valve question.
Did
I wish I had an answer for you.
And then there's the other thing, like When your game was put up for community vote, like did they contact you and say, can we do this, or is it just they get the pick? It's part of being on Steam is they get to pick the sales.
They get to pick. Like, the only reason I knew that was up for a vote is because someone on my friends list told me. Oh, like they were like, "Hey, I'm gonna get Wrack on sale," and I'm like, "It's on sale." And he's like, "No, out." But yeah, I mean, they don't contact me about anything. I guess from what I understand, like, if it was like put up for like the flash sale, like
Oops.
not one of the votes, then I think they contact you. But I mean this just kind of came out of the blue, for me.
Alrighty then.
And I was happy it got put up for that vote because it got.
That's publicity.
It definitely got publicity from it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody.
Even though it didn't win, I mean, still tons of people bought it after that.
Month-old pickle. Type that in the chat. Let him know that he won. Ask him if he wants it. Make sure he's here. I know he's talking, but still, rules are rules. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and
No problem.
telling me where to go when I was lost. Because, yeah,
Hey, you would have figured it out.
yeah.
Give him
A couple hours later.
Give him about a month, he'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Like, I love exploring games, and sometimes I get really, really angry when I don't have direction.
Yeah.
And other times it's like, oh, well, why don't you hold my hand? So
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite in that sense because it's just depends on. I guess it depends on the kind of game that I'm playing.
Yeah.
And
It's one of those things. It's like like people like to be all macho, like, oh, I don't need help, and then when it's like, it's like hard games. It's like, oh, I don't want it to be easy. I want it to be very hard. And then when you make it hard and they struggle, then they're all pissed. It's like, okay, well, what do you want? So I mean, people don't want what they say they want necessarily. And about the lost stuff, I mean, that's a big reason. Like, we like to take the game to conventions and stuff, and just to watch people play and like just kind of make sure they don't get lost. You're kind of watching what's going on with them, and you're just trying to make sure that they're having a good time, and if they're not, you want to fix what's wrong so that they have a good time next time, and that other people have a good time and don't have the same issues they did.
I definitely. It's a very, very interesting game for sure. I still think the sword is my favorite weapon.
Yeah, I love it. It's like we wanted a melee weapon to actually be good in this game. I mean, so many others like, oh, it's your bare hand, and it's like it's not like a viable weapon. And it's
I love
like
how immediate it
in
feels.
the interest of like weapon balance, like we wanted to make sure the sword was really good. What was that?
I love how meaty it feels.
Yeah.
Like it feels real chunky and just like raw.
Yeah. And it does so much damage that it like jibs like half the things you slash it with too.
And Slider just like going around to the bodies laying on the ground and
See,
just chopping them apart.
That's another good example of like of like if you're not trying to be realistic, it just works out. It's not realistic to like swing a sword and then like what you hit like explodes into bloody chunks. But it's certainly fun when it does. And, when you're not chained to reality, things just work out so much nicely.
All right,
Freedom.
everybody, say thank you to Brad for the wonderful game that he's developing and for stopping by and talking with us today.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
So, what is the like weirdest thing that someone has messaged you or emailed you about your game?
I don't know, but I'm kind of thankful that I haven't gotten anything too weird along those lines yet. Like what's it like Rule 43 or whatever it is.
You haven't got any like firstborn childs in the mail or anything?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, give it time. Give it time.
No, I don't want to give it time. No. Stay. Yeah.
I'm just gonna mail you a doll now.
I'm sure it'll happen. At some
I've carved this 10-foot pickle to look like your character from your game. Thank you. Unfortunately, you get it a month late.
No, it was a cucumber.
But yeah. Oh yeah, I guess someone had messaged me something kind of weird. It was like, yeah, your game is comic-y, therefore it should be really cheap because comic-y doesn't work. Like Borderlands.
Borderlands.
But it had a huge marketing budget, therefore it did okay despite the fact that it was comic. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like a huge reason the game was so successful. It's like, I mean, like the team that was working on it, like they were so bored of it, like they were so uninterested in it. And then like the second it went to like that kind of comic-y, cel-shaded art style, then they were all jazzed up about it, and it ended up going on to be a mega success. So.
Yeah, I think the whole realism thing is slightly overrated, considering it's not
Right.
something we could ever achieve.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep. It just gets way more expensive, like as time goes on, because you're fighting that uphill battle.
Yeah, models are expensive, textures, animations, there's so much. It's just like blah.
Yeah, it's like even like movies can't, always pull it off, and that's why they try and use as many like physical models and actual real life actors as they can. Yeah, and they have like infinite budgets and infinite hardware to work with. So
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. The hardware costs on top.
yeah. So I mean, we just want to do something that just fundamentally looks.
What
nice.
is this?
I'm falling. I'm falling.
I'll do the map.
Rainbow Race.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I mean, people should know like there's all sorts of like custom content you can get for the game. I'm not saying it's all great, but it's there.
It's Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. What is
Yeah,
it?
and like you have to like do like strafe jumps and everything. Yeah, that 45-second delay. I think I'm saying that was like.
Oh, jeez.
Holy crap! This game
But
gets
yeah, it's like
intense.
you have to strafe jump and all that kind of thing to like.
Oh,
get-
good. Strafe jumping is a thing in this game. I love you.
Yeah. So yeah.
I failed again.
Good luck. I haven't even beat race map.
I'm just doing. I'm not even doing the race mode. I'm just messing around with the map.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to do what we can to promote the works of the community, even if the vast majority of players probably aren't gonna enjoy the levels, but something tells me something where you have to like strafe jump like 80 perfectly timed jumps in a row isn't going to have mass appeal.
I don't even
Yeah.
know what that is, and I've been playing games forever.
Well, it's strafe running. I mean,
Turn sideways and run.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pickle's key worked.
Ooh, secrets.
Okay.
I love the fact this game has secrets. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a big thing about arcade classic shooters with me. If they don't have those, then it just does not have the
Panaz.
feel. Yeah, it doesn't have the feel.
It's like even though like the game isn't like primarily about exploration, like we still want that to be. We still want to reward
That
people
face.
for exploring and everything. Because I mean, you still have to explore to like find.
He doesn't have an
ammo
arm.
and health and everything.
He doesn't have an arm. Suddenly armless.
Oh yeah. I think that's just like a thing that like artists do, like just to like when you're modeling it, like you can see the
Yeah.
torso better.
Yeah, so you can see the side,
Yeah.
the legs and all. Yeah.
See, and like you unlock that stuff by beating the levels and getting better medals on them.
Oh, damn it. Wow, it's so hard.
Just looking at some of these featured maps. What the? Okay.
What am I looking at?
I just want to. I just want to go la 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 la.
I think it's a colorful anus, maybe.
Yeah.
How many colors are in the rainbow?
You got to jump. You forgot to jump. Okay.
You're so smart.
Why is he not jumping?
Yep.
He you hit
Well,
this.
yeah, I mean, all these maps are made by like super hardcore players.
Stop running off the edge.
See, okay, like this is what your teacher was talking about. How it's like this is what happens when you make stuff like for you alone. It's like nobody else.
Oh, apparently walking through that kills me.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, I think all of these map authors, they like the maps, but I'm not sure anyone else does.
I think this guy was on acid.
It's gonna be a pony at the end of this. How much you want to bet?
Yeah. That reminds
not
me of a
surprised.
game. I can't remember what it was.
Such a crystal.
I don't know that game.
You raise horses.
Oh, wow.
You
That's,
magical horses. No.
damn.
You can actually eventually unlock a unicorn.
And,
Oh, I
and
must get this game.
it's like an apocalypse horse.
God.
There's like
Apocalypse.
A nightmare.
it's made of I think fire or something. Somebody bought it for me as a gag gift, so I was like, well, I'm gonna
That's
play it now because I own it.
Yeah, dude, this map is like impossible. So.
What? What does it say? Like, what is the sound saying when I'm dying?
I think it's like dead, dead, dead. You're so dead.
Oh, dead.
Dead. You're so dead. I got.
dead. Thought
Let's
you were hot.
let's see. It's gonna get loud real quick, and then I'm gonna jump into the cliff, or into the rainbow magic magnificence. Yep, that is exactly what it says. That is also a lot louder than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, this
I might have gone a little deaf.
Robot Unicorn Attack song.
I love the sound or the music for the game too. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's the same guy who did the music and sound for Doom.
Really
Yeah, Bobby Prince.
nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Also, disclaimer: this game is a work in progress. It may suck.
It may suck.
It doesn't, but it
It doesn't.
It might.
also it's a trap.
It's a tarp.
Thank you again. This was very very awesome that you did this.
Hey, no problem. I mean, I'm happy to be here.
Oh man, we might do it again in the future. Actually, I had a show, and we had a bunch of fallings out and stuff that was going on. So I'm in the process of repurposing and getting new people to do the show with.
Sorry to hear that.
When we get around to doing that, I'll contact you again and we have some fun. We won't necessarily be playing this game. We'll be playing a co-op game. But if you're interested in coming and playing with us,
Yeah,
that'd be
I'd
great.
yeah.
Run around and hit each other with
Fun to play, yeah.
so make a pillow fight mode and just beat each other with pillows. Slumber party.
Wrack, Slumber Party Edition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Marshmallow gun.
Make a mod that turns all of the characters into nearly naked female characters in their pajamas, and all of the weapons are pillows.
Hey, it's underrated. Why do they have to be nearly naked? The joys of indie development. We're free.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Don't have to worry about Best Buy suing us or anything.
Or like what was it? Oh, what was that game again? Oh right, DayZ. That's it. Their trailer getting
Best-selling game ever of all time for some reason. Oh,
That-
you make me lose faith in humanity.
their trailer got removed from Steam. Yep.
Yeah. Because a girl kills herself.
She kills herself. Suicide.
Yeah. So they removed it from Steam. They removed the trailer.
You know, I've worried like, okay, like the hardest skill bullshit. Like I just put that in there like initially like it's just like a joke. and it's like people liked it, so it's kind of just stayed there. I was surprised like there hasn't been any like trouble with like people having a problem with that. I don't know. People seem to like it, and I haven't heard any complaints from angry parents or anything. So whatever. Yeah, and like there I don't know. I was gonna have an achievement called like unprotected BJ.
Right on.
I was like, is Valve gonna have a problem with this? I might have to change this, but yeah, I ended up changing it to something else.
Well, you can throw a monster that throws poo at people, and you can make an achievement. Where you can shoot the poo, and it's called Who Flung Poo.
Holy crap.
They're kind of like be like the zombies in Quake 1.
Yeah, and see right there.
Except they're throwing poo at you.
And it can be, glowing crap, and you can actually have Fabian say, "Holy crap!" See?
Ideas!
It's great.
Going back to DayZ.
You have a notepad, right?
Daisy.
Well, like, I was just on like Polygon earlier, and like they had an article on it. It was just talking about like, oh yeah, so like DayZ's out. It's horribly buggy. It's incredibly incomplete. It's terrible. But I'm so addicted, and I love it. I'm like, oh my god.
How long have you said you've been working on this again?
Like 5 years.
5 years.
We need our DayZ mod.
Dang, it's gonna be a pillow fight mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, just replace the sword with a pillow. That would look awesome.
There we go.
All right, well, that is going to be the end of the stream. I look forward to setting this up again.
And I'd be happy to do this again. We'll have plenty of stuff coming up. Plenty of new content and updates and everything. So there will be reason for it.
I definitely look forward to it. I will have my early access review up of your game before long. I'll have it on Steam, and I'm also going to put it up anywhere else I can. But as soon as I get all that up, you'll get links and stuff. This stream is actually going to get uploaded to YouTube, and you'll know when that happens because it'll tweet it.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Thank
well
you.
done, man.
Very good.
Great game.
Thank you. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, month-old Pickled's playing as well.